Most people don't want to talk about it, but let's be brutally honest. You're running out of time, not in some abstract philosophical sense, but in a real biological countdown. If you're over 70 or if someone you love is, then this is not just information. It's a mirror. And what it reflects back might shock you because science has uncovered startling predictors, measurable, observable signs that can accurately estimate how long you live after 70. And it's not what most people think. This is serious. And the most dangerous thing you could do is look away. So let me ask you, what if you could know? Would you even want to? What would you change if you found out you had 5 years left, or 10, or 1? These aren't just hypotheticals. The research is real. The data is cold. And yet behind every chart is a story, a person, a life, a decision, a regret. And if we're wise, we'll listen. I've spent a lot of time studying human behavior, meaning suffering and resilience. And one of the most fascinating yet deeply sobering fields is how we age. Why some people remain sharp and spirited into their 90s, while others deteriorate rapidly after retirement. Why some shrink from life in fear and isolation, and others grow into something almost transcendent. And I want to share that with you, but I'll warn you, it's going to be uncomfortable because you might see yourself in what I described, or your father, or your mother, and you might not like what that says about the future. There's a man I once knew, called him Peter. He retired at 65, as so many do. He had plans, travel, writing, maybe gardening. But within a year, he stopped going outside. His knees hurt. He'd nap a lot. He stopped reading. The television became his companion. And by 72, he was dead. Not from a dramatic illness. No, just a slow erosion, like a shoreline fading under the waves. No one could point to the day it began, but it was as certain as the tide. So what happened? Was it just fate? Genetics? Bad luck? Not quite. And this is where it gets interesting. There are signs, clear, measurable signs that can tell us quite reliably who's more likely to live another 5, 10, even 20 years after 70. These signs are not based on some mystical energy or vague intuition. They're grounded in hard science. But more importantly, they speak to something deeper, how we choose to live. The first sign is walking speed. And no, I'm not joking. One of the strongest predictors of mortality in older adults is how fast they walk. That might sound absurd at first, but think about it. Walking speed isn't just about legs. It's about the brain, the heart, the muscles, coordination, balance, and even confidence. A slow gait can signal more than just fatigue. It's the nervous system slowing down, the cardiovascular system weakening, and the will retreating. So studies have shown that individuals over 70 who walk faster than average live significantly longer. Why? Because walking speed is a snapshot of total body function. But there's something more symbolic at play here too. People who walk with intention, who move like they have somewhere to go, are often the ones who still believe they have purpose. That belief translates biologically. Your body listens to what your soul whispers. If you shuffle through life, hesitating, stopping, waiting, your physiology follows. And before long, your cells begin to shut down the same way. The second predictor is grip strength. Again, this might sound oddly specific, but the evidence is overwhelming. Grip strength is strongly correlated with longevity. It's not just a measure of how firm your handshake is, it's a proxy for muscular strength, neurological function, and overall vitality. We're talking about the ability to open a jar, to hold yourself up when you slip, to pull yourself out of a chair. It's about agency, your ability to act on the world. And metaphorically too, grip strength reflects your capacity to hold on to life, to meaning. When you lose that strength, when your hands tremble, when your fingers can't grasp what they once could, it's not just about physical decay. It's the body saying, I'm tired of holding on. And unless you fight that actively, deliberately, you slip day by day, moment by moment. And the end creeps closer. Now, here's the third sign. And this one hits closer to the heart. It's social connection. That's right. How often you engage with others, how deep your relationships go, and whether or not you feel like you belong. Loneliness, especially chronic loneliness, has been shown to be as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases your risk of death more than obesity, more than alcoholism. There was a woman I met during a lecture tour, well into her 80s. She told me that every day she made it a point to call someone, anyone, a friend, a grandchild, an old neighbor. She said, I do it so I remember I exist. That line stayed with me because so many older adults, particularly after retirement or the loss of a spouse, slowly fade into the background of their own lives. Their phone stops ringing. Their stories stop being told. And that isolation is not just emotionally painful. It's biologically toxic. When you're not seen, when you're not heard, the body begins to shut down. Humans are social creatures. And in old age, connection is not just a luxury, it's a lifeline. Now let's move to the fourth sign, cognitive engagement. This means whether you're still challenging your mind, whether you're learning, reading, solving problems, even arguing, the brain is like a muscle. And if you stop using it, it atrophies. Alzheimer's, dementia, and cognitive decline don't just arrive overnight. Often they follow years of disuse. Think about it. When you stop learning, you stop adapting. When you stop adapting, you start withdrawing. And when you withdraw, life shrinks. The people who live longest after 70 are often the ones still reading new books, still learning new skills, still asking questions. They might be attending lectures, volunteering, mentoring, or even trying their hand at painting or music. They stay curious. They stay mentally active. They engage the world like it still has something to offer them. And that belief often becomes reality. And finally, the fifth sign, and this might be the most profound of all, a sense of purpose. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you wake up in the morning and feel needed, if you believe that your existence matters to someone or something, you're far more likely to stay alive and to truly live. Purpose is not just a philosophical luxury, it's a physiological necessity. There was an old man I remember meeting in northern Canada. He was 94, still chopped wood, still fixed things around the house. I asked him what kept him going. He said, I still have work to do. That phrase, simple, clear, carried more weight than all the medical advice in the world. I still have work to do. That's purpose. That's what keeps the spirit burning. And when the spirit burns, the body follows. These 5 signs, walking speed, grip strength, social connection, cognitive engagement, and purpose, aren't just statistics. They are reflections of your relationship with life. They show whether you've surrendered or whether you're still fighting, whether you see the days ahead as worth living or just as time to be endured. Now, here's where it gets difficult, because every one of these signs is in some way under your control. And that's both terrifying and empowering. Terrifying because it means you can't blame everything on fate, but empowering because it means you're not helpless. Not yet, not ever. So if you're watching this and you're over 70, or if someone you love is, you must ask the hard questions. Are you moving with purpose? Are you staying connected? Are you challenging your mind? Are you holding on, literally and metaphorically? And most of all, do you believe you still matter? Because I assure you, if you believe you still have something to offer, and if you act on that belief, your biology will often rise to meet it. This isn't about denying age. It's about confronting it with courage and clarity. Yes, the body changes. Yes, things become harder, but that doesn't mean you're done. The people who live the longest are often those who refuse to be treated as if they're finished. They resist invisibility. They keep building, loving, growing, even in the face of decay. That resistance, that determination is what makes all the difference. And so if you've made it this far in the video, I want to leave you with this. You are not just a statistic. You are not just a number on a chart or a name on a file. You are a living, breathing story. And you still get to write the ending. But you must act. Get up and walk fast and with purpose. Strengthen your grip. literally and figuratively. Pick up the phone, write a letter, go visit someone, read a book, learn something new, argue with someone if you must. And above all, find a reason to wake up tomorrow that's bigger than your own comfort, because that reason might be the very thing that keeps you alive. Don't wait. Don't settle. Don't fade. Choose life. Choose it boldly. Choose it every day, especially now. And if this resonated with you, or if you know someone who needs to hear this, don't just sit on it. Share it. Talk about it. Let this be the spark, because aging isn't the end, it's the next chapter. And it's up to you to decide how it's written. Subscribe if you're ready to keep learning. Comment if you've seen these signs in someone you love. And above all, remember, your story is not over. Not yet, not by a long shot.